I just love on how well him and Trump have worked as a team, and I feel like J.D. Vance is learning a lot from Trump, but also in the position that he is now, and I'd love to see him step into that role, and I'm excited to see what he would do and what he's capable of as leading the country.
We are free thinkers. We're going to have these disagreements. We're going to have our own thoughts, and the fact that he's creating a space where we can all do that and realize that it's okay to do that, I feel like that's really strong for the party. I feel like that's going to build us stronger, and it's going to really show people what we're all about.
We can learn and improve and treat one another better. We can love each other despite the disagreement. But winning demands teamwork. And I am honored to be on Turning Point's team. I'm honored to be on your team, and I will stay that way.
For more on America Fest, visit our website, afn.net. Well, inaction from President Donald Trump does not sit well with some organizations. President Trump has rescheduled marijuana, taking it from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3. Marijuana will still be illegal at the federal level, but the president said this will help with research efforts.
The facts compel the federal government to recognize that marijuana can be legitimate in terms of medical applications when carefully administered. In some cases, this may include the use as a substitute for addictive and potentially lethal opioid painkillers.
In an interview with AFN, Becky Garrettson of Eagle Forum of Alabama called the move disastrous.
We're just flabbergasted that the president did this, especially when you look at the harms that marijuana does.
The organization known as Smart Approaches to Marijuana, or SAM, has shared similar concerns with AFN. Luke Niferatos of SAM said marijuana is already heavily researched. Garrettson agreed.
It is one of the most researched substances out there. So we really believe that that is a false flag. That is not a good reason to reschedule it. This doesn't legalize it, but it does make easier access for this drug. It's a move in the wrong direction.
Kansas lawmakers are set to vote today on a proposal to attract the Kansas City Chiefs from Missouri. The plan could replace Arrowhead Stadium with a new facility for major year-round events. Missouri lawmakers have also been working on their own package to keep the team. In final news, people traveling this week will experience a range of emotions as they seek to get to their destinations. Here's Fox's Lisa Brady.
The holiday week's hustle and bustle is here, and with it brings a complex range of feelings for a lot of people, like excitement, joy, worry, fear, or hope. Centerstone is a nonprofit health system specializing in mental health and substance use treatments with locations in multiple states. They have 25 self-care tips for December to help make the month a little less overwhelming. For instance, keeping a gratitude journal, things you're grateful for, as well as daily accomplishments. Make a new holiday recipe. Show love to someone, perhaps an old friend or loved one.
That's all our time for now. Find more news on afn.net. Thanks for listening.
The Lord is my shepherd. Those are the first 5 words of the 23rd Psalm, and they're printed on the front of the Psalm 23:1 apparel in the AFA Resource Center. Those words, along with the image of a lamb, will be a simple reminder to you and others that your trust is in the one who never fails. They're available as t-shirts or sweatshirts in a variety of colors. So check out the Psalm 23:1 collection anytime at resources.afa.net.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network for this Monday, December the 22nd, 2025. Thank you for listening to American Family Radio. We appreciate it very, very much. And joining me in studio is Fred Jackson. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning to you, Tim.
And Brother Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm well.
Okay. You have a good weekend, did you?
I did. It wasn't too bad.
What stood out about your weekend, Chris?
I did some rest and relaxation on Saturday.
Yeah?
Yesterday I went to church a couple of times.
Yeah.
Had some good services.
Did you rest and relax during church?
I did not. I'm fully awake and focused.
folks. Paid attention.
Yes, I did.
I'm not gonna ask you about the sermon points.
It was something about the Bible.
Nice guess.
Yeah. I did that. I asked my daughter one time years ago, my oldest daughter, when she was 5, I picked her up from Sunday school. What'd you talk about today? The Bible?
Yeah.
Be more specific.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. If we humans can have probably one takeaway from a sermon 24 hours after it was preached, that's a good sermon, don't you think, Fred?
That's right. Something stood out.
Something stood out. Something you can impart into your soul.
Yeah.
And benefit from. But all right, so we got a lot to talk about today on the program. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Brother Alex McFarland. He's also a doctor. He's a doctor. He's not an MD. He probably has an MD of, like a Master of Divinity, but I'm not sure about that. But Alex McFarland will be with us, and we got some stuff to talk to him about. This is Christmas week, as we know, and just wanted to make listeners aware who listen to AFR regularly. We are going to break for music. Brent Creeley's our producer. Brent's also, what's your title here? Assistant Director of something of AFR?
Assistant Director of Radio. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and you work here with us. I do know that. I see you in your office. So I'm not very. So I thought you did. But
yes, sir.
I just want to make sure. You've been with us a long time. 25 years.
19 this past November.
All right.
Okay. So you, as number 2 in authority here at American Family Radio, can tell our listeners what's coming up this week on AFR.
Wednesday at 12 a.m. Central Time.
Is that midnight?
It's midnight Wednesday.
Okay.
We will swap over to Christmas music. It'll be Christmas music 24/7.
Okay.
And that will go until Saturday morning at 12 a.m. Central Time.
So 3 days.
Yes, sir.
So be prepared, folks, if you tune in and join us on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Yep.
On AFR, we're going to have wall-to-wall Christmas music, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful music. It's going to encourage you, and it's going to be a blessing to you as you celebrate Christmas. So just wanted you to be aware of that because, like you, our families here celebrate. So our studios and our offices are closed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if you join us, if you tune in to AFR Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you go, where is it? What happened? We're just playing music, and we'll be back live Saturday, right?
That's correct.
Saturday, and then we'll be back live. So we're going to do this show, Fred, today, tomorrow, and then we'll be taking a break because we won't, we'll have 3 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it'll be the weekend, so we'll be back next Monday.
We're going to give news a break.
Are you going to give news a break, too?
Going to give news a break.
So even at where our news segment is, at top of the hour, we won't have news.
No, sir. It's just Christmas music.
So it's all good news, is what you're saying here.
That's right.
We're not going to inject some bad news into our Christmas spirit.
That's right.
Not that we would do that.
No, we don't want to do that. So enjoy our music, folks, that we're going to provide. You're going to love it. It's going to be beautiful music. It's not crazy, off the wall stuff. It's beautiful Christmas music. A lot of it probably you're going to have childhood memories from some of the music that we play.
Yeah.
Christmas carols and so forth and so on.
Amen.
So we're looking forward to providing that. We hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas celebration. All right. Anything else we need to talk about, fellas, before we move on to the news here?
Well, I don't know. I think we're going to talk about weather.
Yeah, weather is a big event.
What about it, Chris?
This actually started over the weekend in places out west, but the headline from Newsweek is winter weather warning as 40 inches of snow to hit, making travel impossible. Not the words that people wanted to hear as they're maybe taking a flight somewhere today to go.
Where is this going to take place, Fred?
Well, in the mountains on the, I guess, the eastern side of Washington State, Cascades up there. Now, we hear about snowstorms going to deliver 5 inches, 6 inches. They're measuring this, projections are in feet in some areas. Wyoming, Montana, places like that, Idaho. So if you're planning a trip, even to fly there over the next couple of days, not so good. It really isn't. So, and I've driven through the passes there in Washington State in particular, and I tell you what, it's if it's raining, it's tough getting through there. But when it's snowstorms and heavy snow like this, it's just, you don't want to do it.
Dangerous.
It's dangerous. But contrast that to where we live in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, I mean, I don't want to brag, but I'm living right. Because we're looking at sunshine and 72. Christmas Day is going to be 73.
I know.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
We're all living right. I think right here in the sunny South.
Wow.
It is really, you know, my detesting of cold weather is well documented here on this show. So I don't mind the 75. I don't mind Honolulu coming to Mississippi.
No, I think
with this
just
weather.
2 weeks ago, we were like down to 17 overnight.
Yeah, it was whiplash.
Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And it's all changed.
Yeah.
My motto is bring on the global warming. That's my motto as far as the weather goes. No, it's going to be it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Here, I'm sure that's probably true of much of the South anyway during the next week or so. But yeah, Christmas Day in Tupelo, it will be 73 degrees. You know, I remember as a kid. There was tornado warnings one Christmas. So you know, in the South, you can have bad weather, not snow and sleet, but you can have bad weather this time of year too. But it's going to be beautiful, across most
When
a lot
I
of the
was,
country.
let me think here, 10th, 11th grade in high school, my high school's football team was playing in the state championship game down in Jackson. They used to have it down in Jackson back then, and I was in the band, and we played Christmas songs, like Christmas carols, and it was 80 degrees for that, and it was in like mid-December.
Yeah, so you can get all kind of weather, but it's going to be, but yeah, really, really bad in the Pacific Northwest, and I guess a lot of the other country getting some really pleasant weather during the Christmas.
I'm just glad not to be traveling.
Yeah.
You know, I was just watching a report about air travel today. You know, I understand, you know, the desire to be with family somewhere else in the country. I understand that. But boy, this is a rough time of the year to travel.
Yes. Airports are already the saddest place on earth.
Oh, they're the opposite of Disney World?
Yes, they are. Yes.
Well, you know, like you said, people got to travel a lot of times long distances.
I understand that.
Have to get on the airplane. Like when you go back to Nova Scotia, you ain't driving it, are you, Fred?
Yeah, and the more stops you have, the greater the vulnerability in that.
Yeah, direct flights, if you can get them, are the way to go. I don't care if you got to pay a little bit more. At least you direct flights, save your luggage from going to Singapore. There's a lot of advantages to direct flights. All right, you're listening to today's issues. So the weather across particularly the Pacific Northwest, they're also experiencing in the West this what do they call the river? Something about
atmospheric floods or something like that.
Atmospheric rivers.
Rivers, yeah. I was just reading Redding, California. They're rescuing people there. The flooding is just horrific.
Yeah.
You got these, the rain just keeps on and keeps on and keeps on. That's the best way to describe it.
Comes from Hawaii and picks up all
Jet
that
stream.
moisture. Yeah, and just dumps it.
Just dumps it and it's like they call it a river. It's like it keeps coming over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Again, that's affecting. Now it's benefiting some of the lakes and reservoirs out there. I read where Lake Mead. That's the famous lake. Isn't that the lake? Not too far from the Grand Canyon. Isn't that true? Lake Mead, MEAD. But anyway, it's a big reservoir that Arizona depends on. The greater Phoenix area.
You're correct.
Am I right?
Yeah.
For water, and they were saying how low it was getting, and now it's going. And the lakes, the reservoirs in California, too, have benefited from the flooding, so to speak. All right, you're listening to today's issues. So, What's the next story, Chris?
Well, Turning Point USA has, for several years now, hosted an event out in Arizona called America Fest.
And that's Charlie Kirk's organization.
Correct. They just wrapped up their most recent America Fest, and it had a who's who of speakers, including Vice President J.D. Vance. We have several clips here from J.D. Vance, and he talked about a number of things, social and economic, political. Let's begin with this one. It's J.D. Vance talking about who we are as a nation. Clip 4.
The only thing that has truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be, a Christian nation.
Now, that got a lot of applause. So he talked about us being a Christian nation. He also talked about and shared memories of his friend, Charlie Kirk, who, of course, was shot and killed, assassinated back in September. Let's play this one now, clip 2.
I'm going to tell you something I haven't talked about publicly before, but in the days after Charlie's death, I struggled a great deal. I'm sure many of you did too. I remember watching every video of the assassination, looking for clues, trying to understand what happened. I stayed up all night for many nights in a row, researching every conspiracy theory, going down every rabbit hole. When my lovely wife, Usha, told me to come to bed, I told her I owed it to Charlie to try to uncover every stone, and so that's what I tried to do. I remember I was consumed by this fear that Charlie's death wouldn't just deprive a family of their husband or of a good father, but that it would deny our movement of a great unifier of people and a great doer of great deeds.
Now, I can continue to play some clips, but do you want to weigh in on anything thus far?
Well, I think, J.D. Vance hit on something very important there. People did wonder after the assassination of Charlie Kirk what was going to happen to his movement, because many people understand it played a huge movement in the re-election of Donald Trump last year. But also there was something happening in the nation with our young people. What would that do with Charlie Kirk off the scene? Would that kind of advancement, that surge that we saw amongst young people to start to embrace conservative values? Well, in the months now we have seen no. It has had the opposite effect. It has had the effect of, we've heard of Turning Point USA clubs, a huge surge in those clubs across the country. I was quite taken this morning, and if you go to our website, afn.net, we have a video of young people who were interviewed at the convention. And I was impressed with these kids. I'm old enough, I'll call them kids. They may be late 20s, or early 20s, late teens. But these kids, they've got their heads screwed on straight. I want you to listen to a few of them. It's going to be Brent, cut number 5.
I support J.D. Vance all the way. I think he has done tremendous work as vice president in fostering our country for the better, and I can see him doing a lot of good and continuing Trump's work in the future.
My favorite part of his speech, when he talked about bringing God back into this country, how we're founded on Judeo-Christian values. If we turn from God, we won't have a country.
I just love on how well him and Trump have worked as a team, and I feel like J.D. Vance is learning a lot from Trump, but also in the position that he is now, and I'd love to see him step into that role, and I'm excited to see what he would do and what he's capable of as leading the country.
Yeah, that was impressive. Listen, Turning Point USA is a great organization and impacts young people. By young people, high school, college-age kids and beyond, but that's their primary focus is college age kids, and they have clubs all over the country, and they even grew after Charlie Kirk's assassination, the number of them, and so they're having their national convention. That's what you're hearing kids speak from while they were attending in the Phoenix, Arizona area. Yeah, there are a lot of impressive young people involved in this particular movement.
It is really encouraging. Now, of course, the left has tried to focus in on divisions in the conservative movement. we
like there aren't divisions in the liberal movement.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
Right,
of
go
course,
ahead.
the way
Yeah, I know.
the mainstream
I know.
media is, the Tucker Carlson and the
Shapiro.
Fuentes and Ben Shapiro and all that sort of thing, and they were dealing with this, Chris, on the weekend.
Oh, sure. There were. We have 2 clips here of Ben Shapiro. Let's begin with this one because it's in recent days, and he said much of what he also said at America Fest. But here now is Ben Shapiro at Heritage Foundation criticizing Tucker Carlson. Clip 14.
Tucker Carlson has repeatedly hosted conspiracists on nearly every topic under the sun, uncritically nodding at their most bizarre assertions. And unfortunately, it gets worse, because Tucker has also hosted pornographer and accused human trafficker and rapist Andrew Tate on his program to help him dismiss his crimes and to promote his horrific and anti-conservative takes on relations between men and women as self-improvement. And, of course, Tucker Carlson has hosted and glowingly treated America's foremost Hitler apologist, Nick Fuentes. None of it comports with traditional American values.
Now, much of what he said there carried over into the speech that Ben Shapiro also gave at America Fest. Here's the slightly different excerpt, clip 15.
Today, the conservative movement is in serious danger. It is in danger, not just from a left that all too frequently excuses everything up to and including murder. The conservative movement is also in danger from charlatans who claim to speak in the name of principle, but actually traffic in conspiracism and dishonesty, who offer nothing but bile and despair, who seek to undermine fundamental principles of conservatism by championing enervation and grievance. These people are frauds, and they are grifters, and they do not deserve your time. And they are something worse than that, a danger to the only movement capable of stopping the left from wrecking the country wholesale.
I think Ben Shapiro right there is talking about Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens.
Mhm.
Is it Owens or Owen?
Owens, with an S.
Owens, in particular. Although he didn't, those clips, he didn't name them, but he's called out Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens by name. Tucker Carlson is, I don't know what's happened to him, because I was a big fan, as a lot of people listening were, when he was at Fox News. He had a top-rated show, and he's been a prolific columnist. And Tucker Carlson goes back probably, 25, 30 years. Even though he doesn't seem to age physically, I mean, he still looks young. I'm guessing he's in his, how old is Tucker Carlson? I'm guessing he's probably my age, probably 60, 62, 63.
56.
Oh, he's only 56? Anyway, he used to wear a bow tie all the time. That was his signature, dress code there, a bow tie, and he would appear on CNN. He was in his 20s when he was appearing on CNN on Crossfire. Many people remember that show. So he got a start early, very, very bright guy, and he was considered a great thinker in the conservative movement. And but he's, as I say, he's changed seemingly to me, and maybe obviously to Ben Shapiro, especially when he left Fox. He started doing his podcast, Tucker Carlson I'm talking about, and he started doing interviews with people. Many people considered just to be horrible folks, like the Tate brothers. You may have heard about them. That's the Nick Fuentes people, because of his anti-Semitism.
Yep.
He's a guy on the right that a lot of people know and listen to. So Ben Shapiro is saying we shouldn't be giving platforms. Vladimir Putin, he went and interviewed him. And so, listen, just interviewing somebody does not necessarily mean you agree with that person's beliefs. Okay, that is true. But at the same time, I think what Tucker Carlson's coming under criticism for by Ben Shapiro and others is this is getting to where he keeps interviewing people that a lot of people consider to be out of bounds.
Yeah.
Okay. And not you shouldn't be using your big microphone to put these people in front of millions of your followers.
Yeah.
That's what, and couple that with his anti-Israel sentiments.
Yes.
That Tucker's been putting out now for 3 years. I consider him anti. Remember, he said the people he hates most are Christian Zionists. He retracted that later. He said he's sorry he said that, but he's still I don't know what's going on with him on that. What do you think, Fred?
Well, sometimes, and I think this is the case for Candace Owens too. I think they wake up in the morning and they say, "What can I say today that's going to get me a lot of clicks?"
Okay.
Because Candace Owens is now making millions of dollars with her podcast. And she has said some wild things in recent days that people with inside Turning Point may have been behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. All of those things. Now, Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie, had a meeting last week with Candace Owens, and they said it was a good meeting, but they haven't revealed the details of what they talked about yet. But I think many times some of these people within we would call the conservative circle, they're also business people and they're looking to make money. And the way you make money with podcasts sometimes is you say something outlandish so people start clicking on what you're said to hear your program. Yeah. So I think that may be what's going on with Tucker Carlson also. But during the weekend, both Vance and Erica Kirk basically said, we're not here to agree on everything. There are things more important that we can all work on together.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I think they're talking about next year's midterm election.
What about Vance calling America a Christian nation? I think he's probably going to be booted out of the country now by the liberal media. They're going to freak out about that, aren't they?
Not yet.
They haven't?
They're more focused on what was said by Shapiro and Tucker Carlson in recent days.
So the war within the conservative cause, that's what the liberal media's picking up on instead of Vance calling it a Christian nation?
Yeah, fractured.
Yes. That's what the liberal media would like the story to be.
Yeah, don't you? But Erica Kirk says, she endorsed J.D. Vance.
Yes.
I think J.D. Vance is going to be a shoo-in my opinion, to be the Republican nominee. Unless he blows
You were
it.
a betting man today, it'd be a safe bet. Yeah.
So he's the heir apparent.
Yeah.
And of course, when you're VP, you're naturally in line to be the next.
And of course, a lot of people are wondering, okay, what does this mean for Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida?
Well, we'll see. I don't know. He hasn't announced whether he was going to. Of course, we're a couple of years out from that. I would imagine if J.D. Vance runs, he's not going to. Governor DeSantis would probably be a good fit to be in the administration of a J.D. Vance, because
could see that.
They're basically two peas in a pod, philosophically. We'll be back momentarily. Stay with us.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Back more than 2,300 years ago, a preacher wrote these words: "My soul is bereft of peace. I have forgotten what happiness is." Well, there are millions of people who are seeking and searching for what the preacher had forgotten: happiness. More than 2,000 years later, another man by the name of Charles Farrar Brown made a famous statement concerning happiness. This is what he said. Now listen carefully, because this is good advice. "Let us all be happy and live within our means," he wrote, "even if we have to borrow the money to do it." And you'd be surprised at the number of people who are pursuing this elusive quality called happiness by following Brown's humorous advice. This statement seems odd, but has a world of truth in it. The most unhappy people in the world are those trying the hardest to be happy. We Americans annually spend billions and billions of dollars searching for this magic, evasive thing called happiness. Dr. Gallup, Not the one who's living today, but his father, the fellow who had a way of finding the mood of the public, took a poll on happiness at one time. He found that the most unhappy people were those who frequented the taverns. How odd that seems. I was under the impression that people went to the honky-tonks to have a good time. Could it be by some strange quirk that a good time and deep-seated happiness are not the same thing? The great truth of life is that happiness comes as a byproduct. The best way in the world to miss happiness is to pursue it directly, to go searching for it in every dark bar and every tipping of the glass. Dr. Austin Fox Riggs once said, "Happiness is a byproduct of successful living." Happiness is a byproduct of holiness, or if you prefer a less religious word, just use the word wholeness. Holiness and wholeness, they both mean the same thing and bring you to the same place. Happiness is the result of an inner state, not outer security. Happiness comes not from without, but from within. Betty Barton, who had been paralyzed because of an automobile accident, once wrote for Life magazine these words, "We are suffocated so with things and with distractions that the real pursuit of happiness is impossible. Happiness is primarily an inner state, an inner achievement." And so it is. Happiness isn't the goal of life. Holiness is. Seek first the kingdom of God, Jesus said. Seek first the kingdom of God. Don't go after happiness or you'll miss it. Seek to do God's will and live by His plan, and happiness will come without your seeking it. This theme of matching happiness and holiness is one as old as the ages. "Happy is the man who takes refuge in the Lord," said the psalmist. Jesus, in his Sermon on the Mount, gave 9 ways to be happy. We call them the Beatitudes. You'll find them in the 5th chapter of Matthew in the Bible. I suggest you learn and live them. We spoke of Dr. Gallup in his happiness poll. He also had this observation to make. Our survey showed that the most happy people are those who have had a real religious experience. 'Tis true. Seek first the kingdom. After that comes happiness.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
But he saves the poor from the sword of their mouth and from the hand of the strong. So the helpless has hope, and injustice has shut its mouth.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Let's see, we can talk about Christmas or we can talk about the Epstein files. Raise your hand. What do you want to talk about here?
Let's talk about Christmas.
Let's talk about Christmas. That Epstein files thing, I'll just say this. The Department of Justice, by law, was supposed to and did release into the public arena, right? Because we're seeing, it's like, I don't know, thousands of pages and pictures of this guy's life, and evidently he and Bill Clinton were tight now, huh? But of any of the big name politicians, it appears like Bill Clinton they were BFFs almost, right? Best friends forever. And so it really, really, really makes Bill Clinton look bad.
Yes.
Now, as far as some of the information was redacted, and the Department of Justice says it was to protect names of individuals who were victims, who don't want their names put out for the world to see. And for anybody on the left or the Democrats to try to use this against President Trump as somehow his administration is hiding something, just be clear. Let's just be clear. The Biden administration had the same files correct me if I'm wrong here, Fred,
you're
for
right.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't release them into the public domain.
Yeah.
And rest assured, had they had any dirt on Trump relative to his relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, they would have put it out there.
Of course.
So that's just all. That's why I don't understand why are they even saying anything. They're just. I'm talking about the Democrats and the lefties on the Jeffrey Epstein files, because really, most of the politicians that are mentioned in there, almost all of them, and the celebrities, they're all lefties.
Yeah.
They're all Democrats. They, so.
Which explains why the Biden administration didn't release anything in the 4 years.
Right. So anyway, we'll see if anything else develops from that. But I think most people are ready. It's so sordid and ugly. It's not even. This guy was a pervert.
Yes.
And
horrible.
And he was convicted of sex trafficking, right?
Trafficking. Yes.
So.
And his girlfriend for aiding him. She's in prison.
She's in federal pen, and
yes,
he's dead, I guess.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Some people think
that's what people say.
Some people think he is alive somewhere. But anyway, what do you think, Fred? Think
No. He's gone into eternity.
Okay, you don't care about the missing videotape, huh?
No.
Huh?
No, even the FBI. Funny you mention that.
The Trump
FBI in recent days.
Yeah.
I think Dan Bongino, who is retiring, or
Dan. Is it Dan?
Dan Bongino.
Let's change his name.
Yes, he. I think even said a couple of weeks ago that because before he went into I'm talking about Dan Bongino here. Before he went into the administration, he had a conspiracy that something nefarious happened to
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes. So
conspiracy theories help clicks of podcasters. You do know that.
Right? They sure do. But Bongino just in the last few weeks said he's investigated, and Mr. Epstein died
by suicide.
By suicide.
I think one thing that hampers any investigation that involves Americans or that has Americans paying attention to it is Americans we're born skeptical, and we don't trust the government from the day we're born. Whereas Fred is Canadian, so he comes at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, he's a nice man, nice Canadian. All right, you're listening to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Dr. Alex McFarland, our good friend and colleague, joins us now from the great state of North Carolina. Good morning.
Good
Alex.
morning and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, brother. You going to celebrate there?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We're in North Carolina, and I think Santa Claus will come here first.
Do you think Santa Claus comes first to North Carolina?
Exactly.
So not only first in flight, but first in flight or is that Ohio? No,
Ohio's the birthplace of aviation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
both of them claim the Wright brothers.
They do.
On there.
The Wright brothers were from Dayton, Ohio, but they brought their plane down here to the coast to fly it.
Kitty Hawk, right?
Yep. I've been to the very spot many times. Wow. Hey, I got to tell you this, Tim. If you ever go to the Wright Brothers Museum down there in Kitty Hawk, and it's a must-see. It's on the National Registry of Historic Places. There's a Bible in one of the glass display cases. They were sons of a Methodist bishop, and they were called the Bishop's Boys. And I hope it's still there, but Tim, there's a journal, and you can read their writing, and it says Sunday, such and such a day. Conditions are perfect, but it is the Lord's day, and we do not fly the plane on the Lord's day.
Huh. Hey, where is Kitty Hawk? Is it on the Outer Banks or?
It is. There are these barrier islands called the Outer Banks. It's quite beautiful. There's Nag's Head, Kitty Hawk, and Kill Devil Hills. And there's a couple of just ginormous sand dunes, and somehow or another the Wright brothers found out about it, and they believed, and they had made a number of trips down here in like 1901, 2, and 3. But I'll tell you what's interesting. There's a town on another island, Roanoke Island, and the town of Manteo was settled in 1587. And the first English child, Virginia Dare, was born there in Manteo. And of course, Angie and I've preached all over this region, but everybody, you ought to come see the Outer Banks. It's a fascinating place. Lots and lots of history down here. And
now, how do you get there? I mean, if I drive to, I'm looking at the map. Did you go to Jacksonville? Not Florida, but you go to Jacksonville, North Carolina, and then cut across?
You can. There's a couple of highways out here, and in fact, there's a couple of bridges. There's two sounds, the Albemarle Sound and the Pamlico Sound, and it's so long, I mean, you can't even see across it. You think it's the ocean, but it isn't. It's the inland waterway, and you got to cross some pretty big bridges. But if you fly into Raleigh, the state capital, it's about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive out here.
Huh.
And
now,
then
when you go to, how do you get to Mount Pilot?
Well, now that's a little bit in the western part of the state. It's near Winston-Salem, and it's actually called Pilot Mountain. But
I was just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was a real place.
Yeah, it's named after.
I just know the Andy Griffith show. Andy Griffith talked about going to Mount Pilot. Am I right?
Exactly.
But Mayberry is fictional. You do know this, Fred, right?
Yes.
Mayberry is fictional.
Now, there's a town. Andy Griffith was born in Mount Airy, but they kind of, as a wordplay, call it Mayberry. But
I got you.
Listen, there's a museum in Mount Airy, and the actual jail is in there. That the set. And
seriously, if you
if
you go to Mount Airy, you can see that.
Oh yeah, the Andy Griffith Museum is amazing. And
where is that? I'm looking at Asheville. Is it far from Asheville, Morgantown?
It's more east. Look to Winston-Salem.
Okay.
And on I-40, you'll see Mount Airy and Pilot Mountain.
You could just spend a week vacation and then seeing the sights of probably 2 weeks seeing the sights of North Carolina there. So, but back to Kitty Hawk for just a minute. Did the Wright brothers go over there to the beach because that was why did they need to go to the beach to test her? They didn't want her.
You know, I've often wondered, and somehow or another they had written like to the Army Corps of Engineers to find out they wanted a certain kind of wind.
I got you.
A very consistent wind speed, but also there's these dunes, and I guess I thought flying on sand you'd have a somewhat of a soft landing.
Yeah, maybe so.
But one last thing I got to tell you is. You go down Highway 12 to Cape Hatteras, to the lighthouse.
Okay.
Now, this is amazing. There is a German submarine that you go to the top of Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, and you can look down and you can see a sunken submarine right a couple of 100 feet off the coast. That's how close the German U-boats got into our water space. And
really? How?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
And divers go down there, but I know we're here to talk about the Lord, but I'm talking about North Carolina.
Well, hey, that's the Lord's country,
Amen.
Right? That's what they call it. You know what? I've got Stephen McDowell, our good friend. He vacations in Holden Beach.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Every year, and he tells me about how much they enjoy going there, which is around. Not too far from Myrtle Beach. Looks like it's like north of Myrtle Beach. Anyway, all right. So I want to ask you a couple of things, Alex. We had mentioned that Tucker Carlson, and I will say this, what I'm about to say he did apologize for later. But he had made the comment that there's nobody he hates worse than Christian Zionists, is what he said. Again, he did apologize for saying that. But I wanted you to tell folks what the expression Zionist means. When we say somebody is a Zionist, what is a Zionist?
Well, nowadays, if that term is used, it's almost always used in a pejorative sense, to be critical. But really, the Zionist movement started back in the 1800s as, Jewish people and many non-Jews, like Winston Churchill, wanted to create a Jewish state and recover land. And I mean, the very famous guy, and he's worth reading his biography, is Theodore Herzl, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he wrote extensively in the 1800s about a future the reestablishment of the Jewish state, which, of course, that took place. And by the way, May 14, 1948, but there was really a good, decade plus lead up to it. And there's a documentary that CBN produced some years ago about the miracle of the rebirth of the state of Israel. But Zionism was among some of Europe's and some of Americans' most elite academics and political figures, and it was a very respectable, concerted effort, again led by Theodore Herzl, to reestablish the nation of Israel. But the way people use it now, it's almost like the word fundamentalist.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me give just a tiny bit of history, by the way. Like in the aftermath of the Scopes trial in 1925, when there was modernism, they called it. Today we would call it liberalism or wokeness, but modernism infected many a church and denomination, and there was denial of what the Word of God says about creation, the deity of Christ. And so the fundamentalist movement, R.A. Torrey out at Biola University, he had come from Moody Church, they raised money, they produced a 5-volume set of books called The Fundamentals. What are the fundamentals of Christianity? The triune God, the authority of God's inerrant word, Jesus, God incarnate who shed his blood, rose from the dead. Now, the reason I bring that up is originally in the mid to late part of the 20th century, fundamentalist was really kind of a compliment, like I embrace the fundamentals, core Christianity. Now, the left really used it as a bad word. Oh, you're like Jerry Falwell, who's basically a jihadist. You're a fundamentalist. And they equated it with Islamic fundamentalists. And so now that word is so laden with baggage. I mean, nobody much would use that word, even though we definitely do affirm.
All it really means is you believe in the fundamentals of the faith.
True Christianity.
But you're right. The left turned it into something. These are Christian fundamentalists. They're to be feared. They're trying to take over America. They want to have everybody forced to be baptized and
a theocratic state.
Theocratic state and so forth and so on. Yeah.
And that's how the left has really demonized the word Zionism. That it means, okay, you must hate Palestinians and the genocide. And
so Zionism really just means you support a nation, you support a Jewish state. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And see, Zion is one of the biblical names for Jerusalem.
Okay, that's where we get it from. Gotcha.
Yeah, the Bible uses the word Zion in 3 senses. Sometimes it's referred to Jerusalem, sometimes the entire land of Israel, and sometimes the kingdom of heaven, And so Zion also is a Hebrew word that really means promised land. So a Zionist is someone who believes that the land of Israel belongs to the Israelites, and that the everlasting covenant God gave to Abraham is exactly that, everlasting. And so, the left is really adept at commandeering language, and really. And by the way, let me tell you my theory on this. People like James Carville, who, he's, if you want to be on the forefront of how the left twists and perverts language at the expense of the right, listen to James Carville, because he is a semantical ninja when it comes to twisting words for the advantage of the left. Mm-hmm. And conservatives and Christians, sometimes we're a little slow to the draw on the twisting of language, because generally conservative people are forthright, and we're not trying to flim-flam anybody. You know what I mean, Tim?
Yeah. But if you get a semantical ninja show up at your house, you better be prepared. That's all I got to say, because they can take you down. No, I'm just kidding. You're right. James Carville can twist words. Hey, I want to talk about one thing real quickly, and we can move on to another topic here, guys. But when you mentioned, I remember this song from 30 years ago. I don't know how old it is, but It's a wonderful song that the Gaither vocal band sings. "Blow the Trumpet in Zion."
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard them sing this? Have you ever heard them sing this?
Oh yeah, I've seen them live. Many years ago, Marvin Sanders and I had Bill Gaither on Exploring the Word one time.
Yeah, okay. But a lot of people remember this song, "Blow the Trumpet in Zion, Zion, sound alarm on my holy mountain." Anyway, I tried out for the Gaither vocal band there. As you can tell, I almost made it. You could tell by the talent that I have that I don't like to brag about, my singing talent. But anyway, if you want to watch something that'll bless you, just type in "Blow the Trumpet" and the what am I saying here? The guys will come up.
I found it. I'll post it for you if you want me to. It's from the Gaither vocal band.
The Gaither
page.
vocal band. I had my mind went blank for a minute, but if you want to be blessed, go and watch the "Blow the Trumpet" and by the Gaither vocal band. It's a great praise and worship song there. You're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Well, listen, Alex, we'll let you go, my friend. We got other stuff we need to get to, but I wanted to have you on to talk particularly about this word Zion and Zionist, because we keep hearing it, as you say, in a pejorative way. But all it really means is people who support a Jewish state, the existence of a Jewish state, and I think all Christians should.
Well, of course. And Israel has the right to exist. They have the right to self-determination, and they have the right to self-defense.
Yeah.
And let me say that land is their land. One last thing. 4,000 years before Islam existed, the Jews were in the land of Israel.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead, Fred.
By historical precedent and by divine right, that is their land.
Go ahead.
Tim, you were mentioning this morning about a wish that Prime Minister Netanyahu has put out there, the historical claim of what constitutes the land that God promised
Abraham.
to Abraham. Alex, I wonder if you could. People may say, "Wait a minute, there's more than the little piece of land that they have now." What did God promise back there to Abraham? What were the dimensions that God promised Abraham?
Oh, it's huge, and they have never really completely inhabited all of their land. Okay, for one thing, all the way to the sea, if you're staring at a map, you've got everything to the west of the Dead Sea and the Sea of Galilee, and then you've got really, from the river to the sea, as the saying goes, all of that land. And frankly, they will never completely, I don't think, inhabit all of their promised land until Jesus comes back.
Yeah.
But
no, right. Listen. People say, "Well, you Christians only support Israel because the Bible tells you to, or so you say the Bible tells you to." This is what secularists and people on the left, and even some on the right, will say to us. People like us, they're going to say, "You're trying to base your politics on just your religious beliefs." Well, that is a part of it, but that's not the only thing. Israel is our strongest ally, probably in the world. Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
And certainly in the Middle East, they're the only Western-style democracy in the Middle East. The rest of them are Islamic countries that are not open societies. They're closed. They have very anti-American and anti-Israel within the Islamic faith in that region of the world, and they have. So it's a different way of. I remember seeing a survey of Muslims inside Israel. This is about 10 years ago. I don't have my hands on it right now, but they may have been less than that 5 years ago, where they surveyed Muslims living inside the Jewish state of Israel. Would you rather live in Israel, or would you rather live in a Muslim country, Muslim dominant country? And they said that we'd rather live in Israel. Why? Because they have freedoms in Israel. Do they have conflicts between the Jews and the Arabs over there? Absolutely. But we have conflicts around the world between various different groups of people that are ongoing. But the Arabs and the Jews in Israel for the most part, get along. Okay, for the most part, they get along. But you have your extremist factions like that will, that do attack and try to foment hate for one group, especially against the Jews. But the other reason is the holy sites are in Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Christian holy sites and the Jewish holy sites, and with the Dome of the Rock, one particular Islamic holy site. That's a whole other story. It's built over the Mount Moriah. It's built over the place where
Abraham sacrificed Isaac.
Yes, Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, and so that's the Temple Mount. It's also called the Temple Mount. So it's a very sacred place for Jews. But I'm just saying, all the site, Bethlehem, Jericho, the birthplace of Jesus in Bethlehem, all these, the Sea of Galilee, all these holy sites that Christians travel to see and have over the centuries, they need to be protected. And the nation of Israel is protecting them because they know how crucial it is just to their tourism industry alone. So, and also the Jews are a tiny group of people when you consider the Arab world. The Arab world and the Muslim world, they got massive amount of land space and countries that they control. Israel's this tiny little sliver of land. If you look at the globe, over there, it's the only place that the Jews have their own country, and they got their own country basically after World War II because of what happened with them in the Holocaust. 6 million Jews were killed. We know what Hitler did there. So, in sympathy for the Jewish people, the United Nations gave them, the Jews, their historic homeland, at least a small portion of it, as a place for them to have their own country and have their own land, have their own government. And, of course, they began to immediately, it was owned by the British. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Alex.
No, you're right. Transjordan, they called it.
Yeah, so Israel, modern-day Israel, was under the British control. So the Palestinians, as they are called today, the Arabs, Muslims over there, they did live there, but it wasn't their land because they were under British authority. So really the British that handed over the land to the Jews.
Who had it first?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yes, who, if you want to call them natives,
indigenous people.
Nobody's more native to that part of the world than the Jews.
Right.
Amen.
All right, Alex, thank you. Take care, my friend. Appreciate you being on. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
It's Dr. Alex McFarland here. Okay, so blow a trumpet in Zion. One of those guys hits a really, really, really high note. Those Gaither.
I will try to hit that note tomorrow.
I just say that those Gaither boys can sing.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Am I right?
That's right.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Their investment is only for Donald Trump. It's not for the Republican Party. And I think this is another thing that we as conservatives have failed to do during the entire arc of the Trump era is actually take the Trump voters and convert them into genuine conservatives.
Start your weekdays with insight from Jenna Ellis in the morning, 7 o'clock Central Time on American Family Radio.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
For American Family News, I'm Chris Woodward. The investigation continues into that deadly Hanukkah shooting in Australia. At least 15 people were killed, and authorities say the two gunmen were a father and son. Investigators believe they were motivated by or connected to ISIS. Meanwhile, people in Australia are not happy with the Prime Minister. He was booed over the weekend.
The Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese. Excuse me.
Erin Milan was a witness to the shooting. She told Fox and Friends that anti-Semitism has been a big problem in Australia.
I am not Jewish.
but I spoke out on October 9 when we saw people celebrate in this country the greatest loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust. We had people outside the Opera House chanting, "Gas the Jews, where are the Jews?" waving terrorist flags, celebrating murder and massacre. Then you look at synagogues, firebombed with Jewish people inside, schools graffitied, cars set alight outside Jewish homes. The Harbour Bridge, another iconic Australian landmark known all around the world. We had 100,000 people march across that, waving the flags of the Taliban, chanting death to Jews, holding up signs of terrorists. You know yourself in your own country. When things like this happen, it is a moment for your leaders to stand up and say, "Not on my watch." We didn't have that in this country. It has been incident after incident after incident. Then throw in the way our government has completely capitulated and been praised by terrorist organizations, by Hamas.
For more on the Australia shooting, visit our website, afn.net. The Trump administration continues to go after Venezuela oil tankers. Here's Fox's Madeline Rivera.
A U.S. official says this third oil tanker is on the U.S. sanctions list, adding it's flying a false flag and is under a judicial seizure order. It's unclear at this time if the vessel has been boarded, but it comes after the U.S. Coast Guard, with the help of the Department of War, seized a second oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela over the weekend.
I did see that this is another ship that was basically operating in the black market, and so there's been a little bit of black market activity in the oil sector to go to sanctioned countries and to get them some oil, and they're getting that oil in order to avoid, the reforms that we think would make the countries a better place. And so it's not a lot of oil compared to world supply, and so I don't think that people need to be worried here in the U.S. that the prices are going to go up because of these seizures of these ships.
Not all Republicans are on board seizing these vessels, but others, like Senator Lindsey Graham, are backing the president.
If you're an American and you want Maduro to stay in power, man, have you lost your way. President Trump promised to secure our nation from the scourge of narco drug trafficking. The kingpin in our backyard is Maduro in Venezuela. They're poisoning America.
The seizures and the sanctions are meant to squeeze Venezuela's economic crown jewel, which is its oil sector. But it will have an effect on Cuba, too, which relies on Venezuela for oil. Now, the Wall Street Journal reports the country's communist government is doing what it can to keep Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in power, saying agents from Cuba's vaunted intelligence service remain in Venezuela, where they have worked to purge disloyal military officers and government officials. Venezuela, meantime, has accused the U.S. of theft.
An atmospheric river is drenching the northern portion of California, and more rain is on the way for the entire Golden State. Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz.
3 to 5 inches that include Southern California, so Los Angeles, getting down to San Diego, up towards San Francisco as well. Pretty much the whole state involved in that big secondary round of rain that is going to be really heavy at times.
In final news, Instacart is ending a program where some customers saw different prices for the same product ordered at the same time from the same store when using the delivery company's service. The program was meant to help grocers and other retailers learn more about what kinds of prices customers would pay for items, similar to how stores offer different prices for the same products at different locations. Even so, consumer advocacy groups did not like the program. Find more news on afn.net.
AFA Action takes attacks on the family seriously. The enemies of the family constantly employ new tactics to try to sneak past our radar. They know if we stand together, their evil plans will fail. Your gift to AFA Action allows us to stay vigilant against their onslaught. And if you give this month, you'll receive access to the Cultural Institute video When Your Faith is Illegal by Frank Harbor on AFA Stream as our thanks. You can make your gift today at afaaction.net.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. We're here for 25 more minutes, actually 24 and a half more minutes. On AFR, I'm Tim Wildmon with Fred Jackson, and now Steve Paisley Jordahl joined us. Good morning, Brother Steve.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Did you, I got the college football. I know, Fred, you're a hockey guy, but I'm a college football guy, and it's about to get
It's interesting. I watched all the games over the weekend. Roll Tide and Hotty Toddy. I think there's.
Not everybody was believing like you there with the Roll Tide, but I know I don't have anything.
It's just the outcome.
I don't have anything against Alabama. I'm just tired of seeing them on TV win. That's all.
Listen, this does not appear to be the Nick Saban Alabama team. They appear inconsistent. They've been pulling out games. They overcame a 17-point deficit.
I know what they
halftime,
did. I saw it. Yeah,
okay.
I saw it. It was a great comeback by Alabama. My wife Allison, during football season, we're always watching games. We love watching college football, and if Alabama is like, about to get beat, quote, she always says, you know what's going to happen at the end, right? Yeah, I know what's going to happen at the end. But anyway, Alabama, the greatest tradition in all of college football. There are teams that are right behind them, but nobody has more of a winning tradition than Alabama. But this slate of games we got coming up in a week or so is just going to be dynamite.
Yep.
January 1st, you got Oregon and Texas Tech. You got Alabama and Indiana. That's the winningest, the winningest football program in the history of college football as far as national championships
with
go.
A newcomer
against the losingest.
Yeah.
Indiana's lost more games than any school in America, I think, in college football. So the winningest is playing the losing.
And it's going to be a challenging game.
Oh, yeah. Indiana's favored.
Yeah.
And then you got Ole Miss, going to play in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia. And Ole Miss went to Athens and almost beat Georgia in the regular season, so that's a rematch. And then you got Miami and Ohio State.
Yep.
So I'm going to tell you, most of Americans who don't have a dog in this hunt, so to speak, want to see Texas Tech, Indiana, or Ole Miss win.
Yeah.
Because they're these other schools are the blue bloods, and they always win every year.
I would agree. That's probably how people are moving.
But, so I have nothing against these other schools, but I'm pulling for Texas Tech, Indiana, or Ole Miss.
There you go.
Hey, to stand up for the little guy.
There you go. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Bethel Apostolic Church in Amory. Heather and I went to their Christmas program last night. Oh man,
in Amory, Mississippi.
They knocked it out of the park. It was such a good program. It's a smaller church, but what they did would have fit in any size church. It was really well done. So
that's awesome.
Congratulations.
What was the name of the church?
Bethel Apostolic Church.
Okay, wonderful. All right, you're listening to today's Issues on American Family Radio. Fred, what's the first story we got here you wanted to bring up?
Well, we know just about 10 days ago that massacre of Jewish people who were celebrating Hanukkah there in Australia at Bondi Beach. And, of course, many stories have come out of that. But the Prime Minister of Australia is under fire. Some people say we should not be surprised to what happened in Australia because there have been incidents of anti-Semitism that the government of Australia has basically turned its eye to. We have here audio from a woman who is a reporter in Australia, and I think this is cut number 10. Cut number 10. There's two cuts here.
Okay.
I want to make sure we have the right one. And she is a reporter, Erin Molan, and she is really talking about these incidents of anti-Semitism. Let's try to go with cut number 9 here.
I am not Jewish, but I spoke out on October 9 when we saw people celebrate in this country the greatest loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust. We had people outside the Opera House chanting, "Gas the Jews, where are the Jews?" waving terrorist flags, celebrating murder and massacre. Then you look at synagogues firebombed with Jewish people inside, schools graffitied, cars set alight outside Jewish homes. The Harbour Bridge, another iconic Australian landmark known all around the world. We had 100,000 people march across that, waving the flags of the Taliban, chanting death to Jews, holding up signs of terrorists. You know yourself in your own country. When things like this happen, it is a moment for your leaders to stand up and say, "Not on my watch." We didn't have that in this country. It has been incident after incident after incident. Then throw in the way our government has completely capitulated and been praised by terrorist organizations, by Hamas.
Yeah. So who is that talking there?
Erin Molan. She is a reporter, correspondent there in
Sky News, I believe,
in Australia. Yeah, just these incidents that she outlined there. That's what's been going on in Australia since the October 7th, 2023 massacre in Israel, when those more than 1,200 people were massacred by Hamas terrorists. This is the kind of thing that's been allowed to occur in Australia, and basically she's saying we ought not to be surprised what happened on that celebration there 8 days ago of Hanukkah when those Jews were gunned down by these two guys, a father and a son.
And that attack, we're learning that was a very organized attack and could have been a lot worse. I think it was stopped. I don't know, Fred, those 6 people that were stopped, or the number of people who were stopped 4 days later, is that part of that same?
The father and son had bombs.
Yeah.
And which didn't go off, obviously, but just horrible. And this Erin Molan and others are holding the Prime Minister of Australia responsible for what happened. He even apologized. He says, I'm basically I'm taking responsibility for what happened on that beach in Australia. So hopefully something good will come out of this horrible incident just over 8 days ago in Australia, that they'll do something about this anti-Semitism in that state, which Tim, we talked about this before, makes no rational sense. It is spiritual against the Jewish people there.
Yeah, the Jews in Israel the Jews in Australia have nothing to do with what's going on in Israel.
No,
they're just Jews.
Yes,
right. I mean, so the Muslim jihadis that kill people. Now they're targeted sometimes, like with this case with the Jews, but they're also indiscriminate. They'll bomb an American, whatever, or somewhere around the world. They just want to kill. They kill people in the name of killing the infidel.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not another example of this where people are killed by other groups at the level, anywhere near the level. There isn't a Christian or a Jewish example or a Hindu or any other religion I can think of that is as violent as Islam is.
Yeah.
On an international scale.
Right, because there's so many, 20 countries or so that are Islamic run states. That kind of ideology comes from the very top of the leadership of the state. Now, there are, you mentioned Hindus, there are, I think, Hindu radicals that are persecuting Christians and everything, but yes, not to the extent, because I think Fred is exactly right. This is a spiritual war, and Satan does not like God's chosen people.
Next story.
All right. There's a sea change going on in American media right now, and the nexus of this is CBS News. The chief, CBS News' editor-in-chief is Barry Weiss, and she's just been there a short while. They had a piece ready to go on 60 Minutes talking about Venezuelan migrants that were deported to El Salvador. And about 2 hours before airtime, Barry Weiss stopped pulled it from 60 Minutes, said it needed more reporting. Weiss claimed the story needed more reporting. Specifically, she wanted an interview with Stephen Miller or some other high-ranking Trump official because basically, as we've been seeing for years now, this was going to be a hit piece on Donald Trump. And Barry Weiss wanted some balance in the story, so they pulled it.
60 Minutes is the legendary news show on CBS. It's probably been around 40 or 50 years, something of that nature.
Long time.
Well, good for them. CBS now, CBS 60 Minutes, that news magazine, CBS News, as we've said, they have now a lady in charge who's fair-minded.
Yes.
She's of a liberal persuasion, but she wants to be fair to the conservative side.
Correct.
In order to regain trust of viewers so they don't just end up with just one half of America watching. potentially, but they want everybody to be feel. So kudos to CBS.
I think so. There's a lot of internal strife about this. People complaining, saying that she's
complaining about what?
They're saying that Barry Weiss is censoring them and everything. But I agree. I agree with you. I don't think it's as much who she want. They do want an audience, obviously, but I think she's probably after a balanced, fair, accurate reporting of the news.
She's trying to keep them from losing and having to close down. She's talking about 60 Minutes because they don't have any viewers left. So what she's trying to do is save CBS News.
Yeah.
And she as I say, she herself is a liberal.
She's from the New York Times.
But she's one of the few that are honest about it and fair-minded towards conservatives, and that's why she said, "Listen, before we're going to put this piece on national television, we need to interview somebody high up at the Trump in the Trump White House so they can give their side of what's going on with the El Salvadorian prison situation." Is that what it was?
Yeah, the ones that have been deported there under President Trump. And she was down there interviewing them, and, gee, we should be shocked by this. They say they've been treated unfairly. It's a prison.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And not an American prison either. Yeah. All right, you're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Tim, Fred, and Steve, what's your next story? Steve Paisley Jordahl. Did I call you Paisley Jordahl earlier? I did. Okay, I just want to keep your reputation.
Yeah, I'm wearing it today too. Thank you.
Paisley going on. Yeah.
I appreciate that very much. I want to talk about Elon Musk. He's about to be the most powerful person in the world ever that the world has ever known by far. I got. He had a victory with his full self-driving V14 Tesla. It achieved something that nobody thought was possible. It drove intervention-free from Los Angeles to New York, not on highways with perfect lane markings. I'm reading this from a Twitter feed by Mario Nafal. Not on highways with perfect lane markings, but through construction zones, unexpected detour marks, Manhattan traffic. Tesla's fleet of 6 million vehicles has been training this AI with billions of real-world data, but Elon Musk has another vehicle. It's actually a robot, and it is doing amazing things called Optimus. If you look up Optimus now on YouTube or something, you can see videos of this robot doing things that you would not think possible by a robot. It uses identical neural networks that the driving car does. So while the Teslas have been training the driving part, it's also been training Optimus to do real-world track. Tesla is targeting $20,000 per Optimus unit. The global labor force is 3.5 billion people. If Optimus replaces just 10% of the labor, that's 350 million units. That's a $7 trillion company that he is getting ready to launch. And he is what this is saying is this is not theoretical anymore. This is industrial planning, because these things are going to be able to do just about everything that a human can do. They can pound nails.
So this is what Elon Musk, he's got a robotic company a company that makes robots, and it's about to meet
Optimus, and he's putting these things out as replacement workers.
So just to review Elon Musk's career heretofore, he started with PayPal, right?
He started with something even before that, but yeah.
What now?
There was a company even before that
that he invented or
that he started. Yeah,
and he parlayed that into Tesla.
Yeah,
and then the Starlink, right, which is the satellite service.
One of them. The Boring Company.
What is that?
It's a company that he drills tunnels under the cities and puts subways and roads under cities. Very successful.
Okay, and now he's doing
SpaceX
and robotics.
Yeah, and
Fred, I would just ask you, Fred, what have you done with your life?
Wow, this is fascinating. And I tell you what, laborers in various industries need to pay attention. Here's what he's advertising. Robot, Optimist. I'll sell you Optimus for $20,000, company A. $20,000. Your workers now work 8 hours a day. Optimist will work 24 hours a day for you. For $20,000, one-time payment, you get this robot.
What's that
will
going to
work
do
for you 24 hours a day.
Okay. I'm all for making our lives more efficient, right? and easier on the back, so to speak. The inventions in the 20th century in particular, just, the inventions of the 20th century were superior to inventions any other time in human history. I'm talking about the collective. I'm not talking about just one, like the printing press in the 1600s. No, printing press in the
They have
1500s. Anyway, my point is that the inventions that have happened since 20th century up to now have been world changers, right? So, but I'm not sure this coming age of robotics is going to be good, because doesn't that put a lot of people out of work? And what are they going to do, and how are they going to make a living if everything's going to be done by robots? Steve,
There are two versions in my mind. There are two versions of what could happen. One I call the Star Trek version, and this is what Elon Musk subscribes to. You will be able to work at your own choice. You can choose to work to do whatever you want. The money is going to be a little more irrelevant because everything will be free. It's a panacea utopia that I don't know
where the Democrats going to get their votes from.
I know, you wonder, don't you? But then there's the Terminator version of the future, where these things kind of take over, and we're nothing but farm animals. I'm going to pass my phone to you, Tim, and I'll show you. This is an Optimus robot dancing. I just mailed this clip to Brent, and he can post it on our.
Is this real?
This is real.
Okay, and this is a Optimus is the name of the company making these robots, and it's owned by Elon Musk.
Tesla actually is making these, but yeah.
Okay, wow. It's like Michael Jackson.
He's doing. The soundtrack is a Michael Jackson song, but that's.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, but this is what they can do. They can. I got another video of these things folding shirts. So we keep saying maybe the trades. But I wouldn't put it past these guys to build a house either. So I don't know. A lot of interesting stuff coming down the line.
It's interesting. I just looked up what kind of work does Optimus do. The robot is being trained to use tools, interact with household appliances, and perform duties in a home setting, such as uploading groceries and watering plants. There you go.
All right, then.
Every house should have one.
Yeah. I mean,
and it doesn't talk back.
At least not yet.
we also need a Yes Dear robot.
You can maybe program your Optimus to do that.
Every male in America who's married knows what I'm talking about.
Didn't the Jetsons have one of those?
Yeah, where it says "Yes, dear," "You're right, dear,"
Right, exactly.
"Glad to do it, honey." Those kinds of things. We need a robot that does all that, huh? That way, your robot can do all that, make your wife happy, and you still get to go golf or fish.
There you go.
What about that? Fred, you for that?
It's just amazing what's going on, but it holds some dangers. It really does.
Oh yeah. Especially the robots, and then also you talk about artificial intelligence. They're not one and the same, but they're related.
Mm-hmm.
And it's inevitable. It's going to happen, but you could see some bad things happen as a result of artificial intelligence.
And I think when we do our 2026 year-end show, like a year from now, we're going to be talking about things we had no idea we were going to be talking about.
Which I also think you're going to see some very good things happen from it. I'm no expert by any means, but I'm thinking in relationships to health.
Yeah, cancer treatments.
Absolutely. Things like that, they're going to change as a result of artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I predict within the next 5 years, you're probably going to have some kind of a scan that you can do that doesn't harm you, that can detect cancer. Mm-hmm. Now, that's already available. We all know the
full body scans.
Full body scans. You can write because I asked about this. I'm getting diverted a little bit here, but when my wife Allison got Hodgkin's lymphoma 3 years ago, which she's cured now, praise the Lord God.
Amen.
Yes.
And the University of Alabama Birmingham Medical Center,
right?
And so she's cured. That's what they called it. You're graduated because she had the stem cell transplant, which gave her got rid of the Hodgkin's lymphoma. Anyway, it's a blood cancer. But I'm just saying that she had the full body scans like several times. And anybody listening to me right now who's known anybody who has cancer, they have the scans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but now you do, those scans aren't good for you. So some of them, the scans aren't good for you themselves.
X-rays or
but you can if you want to drive to Nashville or Atlanta from where I live and get a full body cancer screen, you write a check for $3,000 or $3,500, something like that, and they'll do it for you.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about, I think there's going to be something even simpler than that coming
and cheaper, probably.
Cheaper than that coming up in the next 5 years, where you're just going to be able to, pay $500 or something like that and go anywhere, any hospital in the country.
Would not doubt it.
That's what I'm guessing is going to happen with AI.
Yep.
Huh?
Well, it is a good time. Medical treatments, as you say, are advancing. I think I've read some time ago where even they're going to be able to take like a little baby and they can start looking at as their hidden vulnerabilities inside of genes.
Yeah.
And they can pull those out.
Yeah.
That so there's a lot.
So detect maybe infant problems in the womb that they can fix.
Yes. Exciting.
Well, we're very scientific and medical, aren't we, Fred, with our terminology that they can fix.
There we go. Yes.
FIX. All right, we're out of time. We got a minute to go. What do you got? You got any good news?
Yeah, I want to play this. This is Milan Mazurek. We can bow out of this when we need to, but he's a Slovak politician in the European Commission, and he says the EU hates freedom.
You just hate freedom. You hate free and proud people all over Europe. And especially you hate people who love their nations, who love their countries, and who love their children. Because those people are your biggest enemies. Those people want to preserve their countries as they remember them from time they were children. They want to preserve their countries free, independent, safe, clean, and beautiful. They want their countries without hordes of illegal aliens killing and raping women and children in the streets, and they want their countries without daily terrorist attacks. And that's why you want to destroy freedom of speech on social media. You know very well that if those kind of people will have a right to freely...
Who is that?
This is a member of the European Parliament. His name is Milan Mazurek.
Where's he from?
Slovak.
Okay.
He's Slovakian.
And he's saying that European Union is trying to meld everybody into one, and he's also saying that they are censoring
criticism.
He went on to say if they were able to know the truth, they wouldn't bow to the green scam and the gay trans scam.
He sounded like to me he's basically giving the message of Donald Trump over there to the European Union. Well, good for him. I liked everything he said. He's proud of his country and wants to preserve its heritage and not be swamped by these immigrants coming in from around the world. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day. Keep listening to American Family Radio. Thanks for joining us.